Welcome back to Marketing Champions here on Daily Ad Brief. I'm Howard Walpuff, your host. We're talking about marketing experts from around the country doing great things for their clients. Today, we're talking to Mike Bonheim from Barnburner Creative in Ridgefield, Connecticut. So, Mike, welcome to the conversation today.
Hey, thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. So you have some really great experiences in marketing in general, but over the course of the pandemic, you've really had some great experiences in making sure the events and activity for your clients was still happening. So why don't you tell us how you really got started and how this last 18 months has really gone for you and your company?
How I got started is a long and convoluted story that I'll try to make short and less convoluted. I actually started out in the music business. I was what I like to call a label lackey, intern and low-level employee of record labels, kind of running around and doing what everyone told me to do. That kind of happened around the time that, if you remember, the whole Napster situation and the music business falling to pieces, and especially the record business falling to pieces at that time. And so I decided to get out of that and move into a different section of the music business. And I was actually a concert booking agent for a number of years for classic jazz and blues acts, B.B. King, Four Tops, Temptations, Roberta Flack. And so I was booking live concerts. Being a booking agent is a transactional business, it's a sales business, really. And I didn't feel like I was able to explore my creative chops, which is really where my love lie. And on top of that, it's a dirty business, both concert booking, dealing with concert promoters, and it's not I like to say I wouldn't leave my cup of coffee around when I was with somebody because I wasn't sure it would be there when I got back. I mean, it was a tough business. So when I decided music business wasn't for me, and I sat down with my list of clients, and I just went down and literally crossed off anyone who had cheated me in the past. I don't want to work with them, down the line. And I realized that almost every person that didn't cross out was a member of the corporate events world. So I said, what if I look at that, get into corporate events? And I moved over into event marketing, experiential marketing is what we like to call it now. And I've been doing that now for, probably 2007. So since 2007 anyway. As executive producer, and creative director of experiential marketing, live events experiences. So obviously working in live events, I had a real tough time with the pandemic. Everything just basically shut down. And the entire industry had to very, very quickly transition and pivot over to virtual, trying to create that same experience that we may have given clients in a live experience, but now virtually. So it's been a really interesting, couple of years now, but the speed and dexterity, I'll say, that the industry was able to, on a dime, pivot to producing all of these meetings and these events and these road shows and things that may have been happening live prior to a virtual experience. And the development of that experience over the past 2 years has been incredible. The development of the digital tools and platforms and capabilities that are available to us, and the ability of the production and creative teams to really rethink how we would have done things in a live experience to get that same kind of impact on an audience, the same kind of behavior change that we're looking to create in an audience in a virtual experience. It's been amazing to watch. It's been a lot of fun, quite honestly.
It must have been an amazing experience for you, because this really was an industry that had some major questions of how to exist, how to survive in this when there was shutdowns and no one can go anywhere, and then things starting to open up and trying to find safe spaces and ways for people to communicate. So it's good that you had platforms to get these events on so that you're able to function for your clients and have them really develop the business they wanted.
Yeah, I mean, it's the industry is unfortunately the first in the marketing communications spectrum to really get hit whenever there's any kind of major event. So you look back to 9/11. There was no travel. No one wanted to travel. No one wanted to gather in groups. Everyone was afraid. The first industry to get hit was live events. Live events shut down. You go to the Great Recession, 2008. Companies were starting to tighten their bootstraps. If you remember, there was a lot of stuff coming out of companies that wasted all this money on some extravagant event, and now they're looking for a bailout from the government. Live events shut down. The pandemic, for those reasons, but also for obvious other reasons, health reasons, live events shut down. So it's happened over and over and over again. Not to mention, there's a pendulum swing in the industry that happens every 10 years or so that I've noticed, where companies bring in outside agencies like myself and like the companies that I work with to help them with events. At a certain point, they start saying, why are we paying all of these people to do all this stuff for us when we could do it in-house? And they start building up in-house capabilities. And a lot of the business shifts from external vendors to in-house. And at a certain point, they say, why are we carrying all of this overhead and this load for this events department? We can just outsource it, and the pendulum swings back again. So the industry as a whole is very fickle. And every time that happens, there's a conversation in the industry of, are we still relevant? Is live events something that can live through the digital transformation that the entire world is going through now? Everything's going digital. Why are they going to be flying people together when they could be doing it virtually and not have to pay for flights, not have to take time away from the office and all this stuff? And it inevitably comes back because there's a power to gathering live that you can try to emulate in a virtual experience. But for a lot of campaigns, you need people together. You need people to be able to sit around a table, brainstorm, work together, innovate together, get that energy of being together, get that unity of being together, that team feeling of being together. So it always comes back. But every time there's something that affects everyone, it really hits our industry hard. But it is starting to come back already for the pandemic. People are gathering live. People are eager to gather live. And there's a lot of considerations we have to take into account now that we didn't before. Obviously, distancing, checking vaccination cards, making sure everyone's masked. The industry is taking it extremely seriously to make sure that people can gather live, to make sure people can gather live safely. And as we move forward, knock on wood, we'll be able to get more people vaccinated, more people safe, and we'll be able to get together again without having to worry about all those details.
And it's good that you're monitoring all of it, because it's the key to make sure that the events are happening, that they're happening safe, that people are safe when they're there, and that business is still moving forward. And you obviously had a great experience this year in learning all the things that you need to do in addition to what you already learned within your career of how to implement events on a very positive way for your clients. And we really appreciate you sharing this all with us and for joining us today.
Great. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
And thank you all who also joined us today here. What a great wealth of knowledge that Mike had even before the pandemic, but what his company, Barnburner Creative, has learned through the pandemic is really powerful for what he can do for his current and his future clients. To learn more, go to dailyadbrief.com. But go out, have a great rest of today, and we'll see you next time on Marketing Champions.